Hi, my name's Niki and I'm the Millennial Chef. Cooking is a lot easier than people think, especially when you're cooking in such a large kitchen like I have. Let's be honest, the millennial generation doesn't always know their way around the kitchen, so it's my job to simplify those old school culinary traditions to get to your plate tonight. What's on the menu tonight is Shrimp Scampi, and it's not your traditional kind that's served over a bed of pasta. This is actually going to be more of a first course that's served with a big Italian loaf of bread. It's shrimp, it's butter, it's lemon, and the secret ingredient, a little bit of Tabasco. This recipe is actually very near and dear to my heart because it's a recipe from a little old school Italian restaurant in South Philly called Villa di Roma. I went there as a kid and I still go to this day. It's a really easy recipe, so let me show you how I do it. So here's what we're using today. Tin foil, olive oil, pepper, salt, Tabasco, parsley, shrimp, butter, bread, lemon, and garlic powder. So now we're gonna preheat the oven to 350 degrees to roast our Italian bread. So while the oven is preheating, you want to sharpen your knife so that when you're cutting your parsley, it's a really easy step for you to do. I'm taking the leaves off of the parsley because I think there's a lot more flavor in the actual leaves versus the stem. You want to chop your parsley first so that you get all of your prepping out of the way. And what parsley does to this dish is add a really light, fresh herb flavor that cuts that fat of the butter from the shrimp scampi. That's about how fine you want it. So when you're chopping your parsley, it really releases this beautiful fresh aroma in the kitchen that leaves it smelling really great. So we're cutting the bread in half right now. After we cut the bread in half, we want to drizzle some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and then season it with salt and pepper. After the oven has been preheating to 350 degrees and your bread has been seasoned with salt, pepper, and extra virgin olive oil, you want to roast her off for about 10 to 15 minutes or until golden brown. Next, we're going to smash the garlic just to get the skin off. So you simply rub the garlic all over the bread to ensure that all that garlicky flavor gets into the bread. And you do this on both sides. And this way, if you just chopped up this garlic and put it on top and then roasted it, your garlic's gonna get really burned and have a really bitter taste. Once you're done rubbing your garlic all over your bread, what you have left is garlic bread. So the next step is putting everything into the pan. And one of those things is shrimp. So one thing to note about shrimp, always make sure you get them peeled and deveined. It's a step that you'd have to do anyway. It's free of charge. Make sure you get this done. So you want to make sure all of your ingredients are put into a cold pan. So first goes in the shrimp, then goes in, I use unsalted butter. The normal recipe calls for salted butter, but I like to be able to decide how much salt I want in my recipe, so I always use unsalted butter whenever I'm cooking. So another slight change of this recipe is that they don't normally use pepper, but I like my shrimp to be a little bit spicier, so I always add in there anyway. So next we're going to put in the garlic powder, and this is another Villa di Roma specialty. They do not use fresh garlic, they use garlic powder. And be generous with your garlic because this is shrimp scampi after all. Next we have our lemon, and I got the seeds out already so that I can just squeeze it right in the pan, but if you didn't do that, make sure you catch your seeds. So another millennial-esque portion of this recipe is that we don't always have the best tools. So sometimes you have to make do with what you have. So we're gonna zest one lemon into the pot with this funky tool. And seafood and lemon are just like peanut butter and jelly. They go together beautifully. So the last and certainly not least ingredient is the Tabasco. This is one of the most important aspects of this dish. And you can put a little bit, you can put a lot in there. I like my dish a little bit spicier, so I'm gonna put 3 or 4 dashes, but you can certainly put 1 or 2 and it'll be just the same. So you wanna make sure that your shrimp are evenly distributed here so that they get cooked at an even temperature as well. So make sure you have a single layer in your pan so that your shrimp gets cooked evenly on both sides. So this recipe is so simple. There are only 3 main ingredients to it. It's shrimp, it's butter, and it's lemon. And the rest are just seasoning, so it's so simple to make. Once your shrimp is completely done cooking, it's about 4 to 5 minutes, this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be a nice, creamy, buttery, lemony sauce. It's so delicious. Last but not least, you garnish it with fresh chopped Italian parsley. So not only does this add a nice freshness, but it's also a really pretty color to make it aesthetically pleasing as well. So now, to stick the landing, presentation is everything. So now we're gonna make this nice and pretty for the people who are eating it. So now you bring over your shrimp scampi to the table and you dig in. So now that everything is set down and ready to go, the last but not least part here is to try your food. But before that, another necessity of cooking is drinking wine with it. So pour your glass of wine, however high or low you want. Get your bread, dip it into the sauce, which is the best part of this, and then you try it. Delicious. The best part about this dish is that it's quick, easy, and it's delicious. It caters to all age groups, and everybody always raves about how good this recipe is. Let me know your thoughts on social media. Until next time.